Have you ever wondered how the disciples of Jesus Christ died? What were their last moments like when they breathed their last breath on earth? What were they thinking when the darkness of death embraced them? You might be surprised by what you're about to hear. Some of them died young, some died old. Some died violent deaths, others peaceful deaths. One died believing that he was seeing Jesus Christ himself. These are the stories of the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ and how they all died. Let's start with Simon Peter. He was the rock on which Jesus built his church. The Bible tells us in Matthew chapter 16, verse 18, Simon Peter, the man who would become known as Peter, was a fisherman by trade. When Jesus called him to follow, Peter left his nets and followed Jesus. He walked on water with Jesus. He denied Jesus 3 times before the rooster crowed, but later became a leader in the early church. According to tradition, he traveled extensively throughout the Roman Empire, preaching and performing miracles. Eventually, he ended up in Rome where he was crucified upside down, because he said that he wasn't worthy to die in the same way that Jesus Christ died. So Peter requested to be crucified upside down. He was the first apostle to die for his faith. Now let's talk about Andrew. He was Peter's brother. Andrew was also a fisherman when Jesus called him to follow. He brought a young boy to Jesus who was healed and then became a disciple of Jesus. Andrew was the one who led the Greeks to Jesus at the Feast of Tabernacles. He was known for his humility and simplicity. Tradition says that he was crucified on an X-shaped cross in Patras, Greece. His followers say that he preached in many places, including Egypt, and even spent time in prison because of his faith. But when he was arrested, he told his followers not to resist or shed any tears. He said, "Why do you weep? I am going to see the Master whom I have longed for." And so Andrew died happy and ready to be with Jesus. James, son of Zebedee and brother of John, was also a fisherman. He was one of the 3 apostles that Jesus took with him to the Mount of Transfiguration. He witnessed the raising of Jairus' daughter and of Tabitha, and he was there when Jesus walked on water. James was bold and impulsive, sometimes acting before thinking. When the mother of the sons of Zebedee asked Jesus to give her sons power in his kingdom, James answered with, "Look, we're willing to give up everything to follow you now. When did we have such power over the elements of the world?" Yet despite his boldness, James was also humble enough to ask forgiveness when he rebuked his brother John for wanting to call fire down from heaven on those who didn't believe. It was James who announced, "We have the right to go on believing in our own beliefs, and we will follow you." In Acts 12:1, he became the first of the 12 apostles to be put to death by King Herod Agrippa I. After killing James, Herod turned his attention to Peter. John, the youngest of the 12 apostles, was the son of Zebedee and the brother of James. He was known as the disciple whom Jesus loved. He was one of the 3 apostles that Jesus took with him to the garden just before his crucifixion, along with James and Peter. He was the author of the Gospel of John, the 3 Johannine epistles, and the book of Revelation. John is believed to have been exiled to the island of Patmos, where he wrote the book of Revelation. This exile may have come after the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. He survived the fall of Jerusalem because he had fled to Asia Minor. During this time, he was able to spread Christianity in the cities of Ephesus, Smyrna, Thyatira, and Pergamum. The Apostle John preached the gospel until his old age. It is believed that he died peacefully around the year 100 AD, although some legends suggest that he was boiled in oil by the pagans but survived. Philip was one of the 12 apostles chosen by Jesus. He was from the region of Bethsaida, probably near the Sea of Galilee. Not much is known about Philip's life before he became a disciple of Jesus. However, in John 6 verses 5 to 7, he is mentioned as being present when Jesus fed the 5,000 with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. Philip's name means friend or lover of horses. He was probably given this name because his father was a centurion, meaning a cavalry soldier. Another interesting fact about Philip is that he is the only one of the 12 apostles whose parents are named in the Bible. His mother was named Mary, and his father was named Alphaeus or Cleopas. It is believed that Philip was killed by stoning in the city of Hierapolis in Phrygia, modern-day Turkey. Bartholomew was another one of Jesus' 12 disciples. His name means son of Talmai, which could mean either son of a plowman or son of a foreigner. He was likely from Cana in Galilee, but little else is known about him. Tradition holds that Bartholomew was killed in Armenia by spear thrusting. Matthew was one of the 12 apostles chosen by Jesus to be his disciples. He was a tax collector for the Roman government, which made him very unpopular with the people because they saw him as a collaborator with the hated Romans. In Matthew 9:10, as Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. This event was recorded in all 4 Gospels and shows that Matthew was well respected by other religious leaders. It is believed that Matthew died in Ethiopia, where he continued to preach the gospel. Thomas, also known as Didymus, was one of the 12 apostles chosen by Jesus to be his disciples. Thomas is best known for his doubt concerning Jesus' resurrection. In John 20:24-29, Thomas was not with the disciples when Jesus appeared to them after the resurrection. So Thomas said to the other disciples, "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands and put my finger into the place where the nails were, I will not believe." A week later, Thomas was with the disciples again when Jesus appeared. Thomas exclaimed, "My Lord and my God," when he saw Jesus. Jesus responded, "Have you believed because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed." It is believed that Thomas went to India and died there around the year 72 AD. James, the son of Alphaeus, was one of the 12 apostles chosen by Jesus to be his disciples. He is sometimes confused with James the Greater, the son of Zebedee. There are no details in the Bible about James, the son of Alphaeus, except that he was one of the 12 apostles. Tradition holds that he died in Judea. Thaddeus, also known as Jude, was one of the 12 apostles chosen by Jesus to be his disciples. He was the brother of James, the son of Alphaeus. There are no details in the Bible about Thaddeus, except that he was one of the 12 apostles. Tradition holds that he died in the Middle East. Simon the Cananean, also known as Simon the Zealot, was one of the 12 apostles chosen by Jesus to be his disciples. Simon the Canaanite was probably a member of a Jewish political party known as the Zealots, which advocated armed rebellion against Roman rule in Judea. It is believed that Simon died in Persia. Judas Iscariot was one of the 12 apostles chosen by Jesus to be his disciples. Judas was the one who betrayed Jesus into the hands of the chief priests and the soldiers. After he realized what he had done, he threw the silver coins back to the chief priests and went out and hanged himself. So there you have it, the stories of how the disciples of Jesus Christ died. Their deaths were varied, and their lives were full of adventure, hardship, and persecution. They faced it all with courage and determination, never giving up on their mission to spread the word of God. Now, if you want to learn more about the life of Jesus, make sure to check out these videos here. Thank you for watching. Until next time.